You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. And back on Ron Siegel Radio, Al Manfre is with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Ron. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And you know something? Today we are celebrating, and on a day like today, when we have a celebration like this, we're not even going to mention anything else. It's National Chocolate Cake Day. Oh yeah, that's for me, having beaten anorexia. Now, my friend Al here, you're probably not even doing chocolate.
No carbs, no sugar. I've lost like 35 pounds in 7 months.
I found every one of them.
I want to leave them alone. I don't want them coming back.
So you know, years ago, I went to a hypnotherapist.
Okay.
And they said the worst thing you can do is lose weight. You know why?
Why?
So I know that you're happily married.
Yep, 36 years.
If your wife loses her purse, what does she want to do?
Get another one?
Go find it.
Oh, go find it. No, she just buys another one. No.
But she wants the stuff inside.
Oh, gotcha.
Lose her phone.
Got it.
Find it.
Right.
So we don't lose weight. Josh is waving at me. I don't know. Okay. So we're going to. So basically what we want to do is we want to go find it.
Okay.
So we get rid of weight. We don't lose it. We get rid of it. So things that you get rid of.
Yeah.
Right. If you give your favorite old shirt to Goodwill or to a local charity, you don't want to go find it, right? You got rid of it.
Well, I want to speak of that. So after I lost 35 pounds, I'm like a 32-inch waist now. Got rid of all my clothes that were 34s, 36, 38.
Got rid of it.
Got rid of everything. Got all my suits brand new retailered. I cannot go back. It's going to cost me $3,000 to $5,000.
Big incentive right there. Incentive. So let's see what else is going on in the world right now. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 443 points. S&P 500 up 47 points. The NASDAQ up 75 points. Oil's down 3 cents a barrel.
Yeah.
But hey, you know something? I told you this. I told a lot of our private clients that one of the things that I can guarantee in the stock market and in the bond market, and we don't say guarantee in financial services very often, although I am not licensed, so I don't have to listen to all the FINRA stuff, but I still follow the rules. The thing that we guarantee, this markets always overreact, right? So Jerome Powell came out and made his comments yesterday that the economy is good, jobs are good, and the market can handle an increase in interest rates. Well, what happened? Well, interest rates, the bond market, and the mortgage-backed securities it just took a dive yesterday, down about 63 basis points. That's massive in the bond market. Interest rates went up. Now, you're going to hear the news this morning because I did. You probably have already. If you haven't, you will. That says that Freddie Mac came out with their mortgage market rates and interest rates dropped for the week. Well, they went from 3.56 to 3.55. That survey was done on Monday. They do the survey Monday to Wednesday. Everyone wants it off their desks. They turn it in on Monday. It's not like high school when we wait to the last minute, right? So they turn it in on Monday. The Freddie Mac releases that today. Last year, same week, 2.73. So interest rates, yeah, they're going up. They're a lot higher than they were. But if you're working a plan, it doesn't matter. Speaking of a plan, I guess this one didn't go over quite as well as they might have thought. I told you about Neil Young yesterday, thinking that he was so great, right? And that he told Spotify it was either him or Joe Rogan. And Neil Young's gone. Yeah. See ya, buddy. I guess you don't mean as much as you thought you did. Does anybody really care? And the news of the day yesterday, the White House couldn't keep their mouth shut. They could not allow somebody to have their own time. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer is going to make his announcement today at the White House. Somebody leaked it out yesterday, so he's going to announce his retirement today. Once again, though, the President of the United States, he's got an agenda. It doesn't matter whether the quality is irrelevant in the replacement for Justice Breyer, according to the President. Does not care about quality. You're not going to look for the best person in the United States of America. The only one you need not apply unless you're a black woman. That's basically exactly what the president said. So nobody else in America is qualified except a black woman to be the next the next Supreme Court justice. Wonder how that worked out as vice president. I shouldn't say that. I mean, that's just throwing that out there. Moving right along. Hey, a couple of job openings. I know that we see that the job market is very, very tight. There is a new job opening for the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Job opening there. Sean Payton says not retiring. He's just stepping down from that job. And this morning, the news of the day this morning, obviously we all knew this one. The quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers job is open now. Ben Roethlisberger. Is it 18 years that he spent as the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Big Ben going to hang him up. I don't think he's going to have trouble finding another job. I think that, Tony Romo's making, I thought $17.5 million. I think you said $20
million a year.
18 million a year. You know, when you're 17 and a half, 18, 20, I mean.
Not a bad job.
Not a bad job to go out there. Now, what do they have? 17 games a year, right? And he might have a playoff game or two, so that's 920, maybe working 21, 22 weeks a year.
Better than that. Troy Aikman is now negotiate with Amazon. I bet they pay him $40 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now we need to. I like watching Troy Aikman on. Was it on Fox? He's on most.
Fox. They bounce around. Fox, yeah. I think. Yep.
So none of them are going to ever top Joe Madden. I mean, that was the greatest of the sports announcers, in my opinion.
You want a little quick story? So Troy Aikman invested in Wingstop before they went public, and I don't know if he had stock or he was a spokesman. Well, so when they went public, he said he made more in that day than he made in his whole career as an NFL quarterback.
So based on what you're saying there, Al, Odell Beckham Jr., I know you listen.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you better go talk to Troy Aikman and invest with him instead of in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Your money went backwards in crypto. Troy, what Al just said, has made good money the other way. So maybe you want to go talk to Troy and get some financial advice instead of going with that cryptocurrency. I didn't even look at what.
Did you get the numbers? I know the numbers. He made $750,000. You know what he netted? $34,000.
Really?
Yeah. He had to pay taxes, and then it went down. It's all this stuff.
Yeah, the Bitcoin is at 36 right now, and it was probably closer to 68 or something when he bought it. So,
but he had to pay. Listen to this. He had to pay on the higher value, even though it went down. So between California, he paid 50-60%. Anyways, they said he netted, I think it's $34,000 on $750,000 bonus. Nice.
Yeah, not exactly what you want to do. It might be, he might want to go back to. Well, he was in Ohio, right? So it's Antonio Brown that went to Florida, or was kicked out of Florida. I guess they don't like strippers on football fields. I shouldn't say that. That's a whole different story. Moving right along. What else is going on in the world today? Something I think we're gonna. Josh is over there waving at me, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna save our other commentary for the later part of the broadcast. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, why right now is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for home sellers. Wow, we'll talk about that one. How does repossession affect your FICO score? We'll talk about that as well. And do you have a trust? Do you need a trust? Not trusting somebody. We're talking about estate planning this morning with Al Manfre. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Dow Jones now up 377 points. The NASDAQ is up 29. The S&P 500 is going to be telling my screen's scrolling right now, up 52. 10-year Treasury down 4 basis points. Not good for our seniors. It's giving a 1.8% yield right now. Better than a lot of parts of the world, because we've talked about that one as well. If you invest your money in certain parts. Germany, think about this one. Doesn't bother me at all, right? Germany, if you put your money into the 10-year bond right now, negative 0.56. It was all the way up to a positive 0.009 a few days ago. Right now, they're negative 0.056. You don't even get all your money back. So at 1.8 on the U.S., that's a little bit better. The mortgage-backed securities. So I told you yesterday they were down 63 basis points. Today they're back up 28. I told you they overreact all the time. That's just the issues. We come to expect it. That's why I tell you need great guidance. Headset agents, they didn't know that yesterday. They're locking all these people in there at the height of the interest rates, and they could have waited 12 hours and might have done a little bit better. The initial Fed statement that was released appeared to be more dovish than the markets expected, sparking a rally in the equity markets. The Fed appeared to be less aggressive in removing accommodation than the markets anticipated, with no mention of the number of hikes, no mention of a 50 basis point hike or balance sheet runoff. Then the Fed released a second statement regarding runoff, explaining how after they hiked, they're going to begin QT, right? So we had QE forever. Well, now they're talking about quantitative tightening. So we've told you this. If you listen, go back and listen to our forecast, we've almost hit everything right on for the first 2 months of the year. We're almost spot on. We said interest rates were going to go way up. We told you about all the inflation, the whole bit. It's all right there. You can go back and listen to the broadcast where we did the whole story. Pending home sales, measures signed contracts on existing homes fell 3.8% in December, which was weaker than expected. Sales are now down 6.9% year over year. But think about this. I want to share this with you. I've told you this before. How do you sell from an empty cart, right? We've got 25% of the homes, 75% reduction of the number of homes for sale. So does it surprise you that the homes selling are lower? Jobless claims came in this morning, measures individuals filing for unemployment benefits for the very first time, fell 30,000 to 260,000. Continuing claims, which are those that continue to receive benefits after their initial claim, rose 51,000, and 11 million job openings. You got all these people that are unemployed. Do they want a job? I just throw that out there. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. This morning, we get to chat a little bit about estate planning. And, you know, if we were to read all of the information on estate planning, we would probably fall asleep. But we've got Al Manfre with us, and we don't have to read all the information because he did it, right? So Al's here. Wake up.
Thank you, Ron.
Welcome.
Yeah,
The
thank
man
you.
with the story for stories.
Yeah, you know, I mean, what's a living trust? All these different things. Little background. I've done the show with Ron before. I've done my own shows. I've been doing this for 32 years. Started in 1990. My wife and I started our company Heritage in 1996. 26 years we're celebrating. We have over 20,000 clients all over Southern California, A+ rated, all that good stuff.
20,000 clients.
Yes, and our business last year doubled.
Nice.
Now, let me tell you why it doubled. And I feel so blessed. Yeah, I feel so blessed to talk about this. Who's getting trust now? Well, always the 70, 80, and 90-year-olds because they know they're going to die soon, right? 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds.
That's depressing, Al.
It is, but it's reality. Just to give you a little background, my dad died when I was 17. Okay? So I live it. And when I got in this business as a 30-year-old, I'm now almost 62, I had a passion for it. I still do. And anyways, started this company, 96, have over 20,000 clients. My wife and I ran the numbers yesterday. Listen to this. We have helped or protected $2 billion in probate. If you take 100,000 per client times 20,000 clients,
So you,
$2 billion in probate. Lawyers and probate courts don't get. How do you like that?
So you and your wife are individually responsible for budget deficits in the state of California.
Absolutely. Well, at least lawyers' pockets and probate courts. So
Nice.
I know we only have a limited time, so I'm going to talk about why you need a trust. I'm going to talk about.
Why don't we go back before
Okay.
you do there?
Sure.
What is a trust?
That's what I was just going to say. What is a trust and why do you need a trust? Probate. Probate, if you own a home that's worth over $50,000, that's everything, or you have assets 150 or more, and you don't have a trust. This is the trust, ladies and gentlemen.
So if
you
you're
don't have a
watching us
trust-
on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, Vanna is showing us a trust.
There you go. There you go. So if you don't have a trust, you go through probate. Probate is where the courts determine your beneficiaries, and basically they take your assets. What does a lawyer do? He sells all your assets. He puts it in his lawyer's account, and he's like a taxi, a meter running at $800 to $1,000 an hour. I'll tell you one quick story, and we're going to go more into it. I had a client I just picked up. His mom had a $500,000 house, Ron. 3 years of probate. He got $10,000. That's it.
Wow.
That's the worst I've ever seen. I've never seen it that bad. But he was adamant about getting a trust because of what he dealt with. Okay. Oprah Winfrey, what does she say? Generational wealth. Been talking about it for the last couple of years. We've been doing it 26 years. Half our clients are Black and Latinos. They've done very well with real estate, especially in like Inglewood and those areas. If they don't have a trust, they go through probate. Worse than that, if you don't have a trust, Medi-Cal is going to take your house.
So there's interesting issues here. Is we all need. Everybody has a death plan, right? And that's your estate, right?
We're all going to die,
So
people.
we're gonna all die, and there's one of two plans that we all get. We have an option. So you either have the book that Al just showed,
Yep.
something along those lines,
There you go. Got to have that.
or you get the Newsom plan,
There you
right?
go.
They determine who's going to take care of you when you're sick,
Correct.
and who's going to get your stuff when you die,
Correct.
and they're going to take their share of it and
all-
take care of your kids.
oh, no, they're not going to take care of your kids.
No,
They're
they're
gonna-
going to decide who takes care of you.
oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Right. So either you put it in the book, or you let the state do it.
Yeah.
Do you want Adam Schiff helping on an? Oh no, he's federal, and we don't want.
Yeah, no,
we,
no.
don't, we don't want the governor. We don't want the government. We want who makes the best decisions for your family, right?
Well, with larger estates, the IRS does get involved and they can pay a lot in estate taxes. But in most cases, you have about 22 million before you pay any estate tax. So we're just talking about probate. Here's the bottom line. You worked all your life for the money you have, be it 500,000 or 5 million. You
Your
want it to
castle.
go to your family.
It's your castle. Your fortune.
Absolutely. And you could this book gives you control. That's the problem. Right now, Newsom and the state of California have control of your state. That book gives you and your family control.
Takes it back. And so here's one of them. And I love this analogy because we've dealt with this before. And I'm going to have Al talk about this when we come back. But think about this concept. If you've got a piece of real estate in California, we know that over the last 2 years, it's appreciated about 30%, right? That's just basic numbers. So maybe you've owned it a little bit longer. And maybe you've got a 15-year-old child and something tragic happens to you. And your estate goes to whoever's guardian for your 15-year-old. Maybe they're going to get that. Now, I know when I was 18, the last thing that anybody should have done was given me a boatload of money. Because at 21, I was going to Vegas every 3 weeks, right? Is that what you want your stuff to go to? We're going to talk to Al and see if we can protect that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio,
Absolutely.
discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Why right now is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for sellers. How does repossession affect your FICO score? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, hey, you know something? I better do this before we go to break, Josh, because otherwise Mitchell's going to holler at me. Coach Harrison, congratulations, 400 wins in his high school basketball coaching career. Just got his 400th win. So, Coach, we appreciate you. We're glad to recognize you. And now Mitchell will not be getting upset with me when he gets home. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Or visit rsrhomedigest.com. Your biggest asset in most cases, your largest liability in most cases is your home, your real estate. Who's giving you the update every month on the value of your property? Yep, your friends at Ron Siegel Radio. We've got that for you. The digest tells you that every single month. One email about your exact residence. Why right now is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for sellers. If you're thinking about selling your house in 2022, you truly have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity at your fingertips. When selling anything, you always hope for strong demand for the item coupled with a limited supply. That maximizes your leverage when you're negotiating the sale. Home sellers are in the exact situation right now. Here's why. Demand is very strong. According to the latest existing home sales report from the National Association of Realtors, 6.18 million homes were sold in 2021. This was the largest number of home sales in 15 years. Lawrence Yoon, chief economist for NAR, explains, quote, sales for the entire year finished strong, reaching the highest annual level since 2006. With mortgage rates expected to rise in 2022, it's likely that a portion of December buyers were intent on avoiding the inevitable rate increases, unquote. Demand is not expected to weaken this year either. In addition, the mortgage finance forecast published last week by the Mortgage Bankers Association calls for existing home sales to reach 6.4 million homes this year. Supply is limited. The sales report from NAR also reveals the month's supply of inventory just hit the lowest number of the century. It notes total housing inventory at the end of December amounted to 910,000 units, down 18% from November, down 14.2% from 1 year ago at 1.06 million. Unsold inventory sits at a 1.8 month supply at the present sales pace, down 2.1 months in November and from 1.9 months in December 2020, unquote. And I'm going to throw into the report. You ready for this? Inventory is down 75% from 2007. 75%. The reality is inventory decreases every year in December. That's just how the typical seasonal trend goes in real estate. However, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart of inventory of homes hitting record lows. Right now, sellers have the maximum leverage. Always better to sell when there's a lot of buyers out there and nothing to buy. Bottom line, if you're thinking of selling your house this year, now is the optimal time to list it. Let's chat. 800-306-1990. And make sure you get that report. It is the Home Digest. It's all about your home. rsrhomedigest.com. Continue our conversation this morning. Al Manfre is with us. Heritage Insurance Services.
Heritage Financial Services.
Heritage Financials. Okay, I can generally read, but it
That's okay.
doesn't say that on the card.
Well, we're full. Well, look, open up the card. We are full service, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
We
But
do
I wanna get
everything.
back before we
Okay,
go.
go ahead.
Before we go on.
All right.
So before the break, we were talking about protection,
Mm-hmm.
right? So will the trust protect us in some of these situations?
Absolutely. So the whole point of having a trust is that what you own will go to your children, your charities, whatever it may be.
Whoever you decide.
Yeah, but you
You
have
make
to
that
fund it.
decision.
So Ron, you know
Hold
our.
on, before we go,
Okay, go ahead.
I got Al's got so much information.
Oh, I'm full of
It's like-
energy.
It's like pull him back.
All right.
So the issue that I was wanting to get to is I know you got a story for it. I'm gonna throw you the softball.
Okay.
Right. So you have mom and dad, tragic car accident. There's nobody that I know that plans to have a tragic car accident.
And it happens.
And it happens every day, right? We hear about that on the news all the time. And you've got little Johnny that's surviving. Mom and dad, though, looked out for him. They've got insurance and whatnot. And little Johnny, 15 years old, he's got this insurance policy. He's the beneficiary.
Correct.
Gets all that money when?
At 18.
At 18.
Legal age.
Now, what's he going to do with it?
Buy a Ferrari
Right.
and not be able to afford the insurance. And
There you
I would
go.
have done the same thing, and
Me
you
too.
would have done the same thing.
Exactly.
So
How do we plan to protect little Johnny in the event?
well, that's an interesting story, especially I have a lot of clients that have built a lot of wealth. So what we do when we set up a trust, we give little Johnny enough money to screw it up. So let's say he was going to get $1 million. At 18, we give him 50, 40, 30,000. And when I say we, the client. So that's enough to give him a little money to have fun. And then we stagger it 25, 30. By the time he's 30, 35, being Italian, bona fortuna, good fortune, hopefully he can handle it. If he can't, what can you do? But the point is you don't want to give it to him all at 18
Right.
and blow it all. And then he has nothing.
But the trust can do that.
Absolutely. You control, ladies and gentlemen, strings from the grave.
I like that.
Strings from the grave. That's what it is. You know, I feel so blessed to be here. Ron's a good friend. I'm doing his trust, so I'm taking care of him and his family. He has issues like we all do that he needs to protect if he leaves this earth. So the bottom line.
I'm going George Burns. I'm not leaving.
Oh no, you are. We have a good friend of ours, David Meltzer. He says he's going to live to 111. God bless him, but we're planning for the worst. He's one of my clients too. But the bottom line is we're full service now. Since I sat with Ron, we do all 50 states, virtual, Zoom, in person if it's Southern California. We deal with realtors, we deal with mortgage companies, we do a lot of affinity programs, a lot of unions. So anyways, and by the way, I want to cover this. We're female owned. My wife is the CEO, and she hates me saying this, but I'm going to say it. One of the largest female owned financial planning firms in the country.
Nice.
Pretty amazing. And we have 300 die on us every year, Ron.
You know something? I'm
Yeah.
going to have to stop sending the invitations to you. I'm going to have to start sending them to your wife.
Absolutely. No, we're yin and yang. She would never do this. She's an administrator more in the office and managing our 20,000 clients. But here's the bottom line.
She's
ladies.
the nice one.
Absolutely. I call her the librarian, people, because she's always going to me, shh. I'm out there a little bit, and I know that, but I have a passion for what I do.
That's why Josh is back in the background. Turn the game down.
Yeah.
You guys are clipping. You guys are too loud.
All right, I'll try to keep it down.
No,
but
that's what Josh
his
does.
job. Okay.
He does that in the background. He does sound good.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm gonna
make us look good.
I'm gonna tell you a couple stories because you guys will all relate to this. 2 quick stories. I sat down with somebody last night in El Cajon. They have a trust with us for many years. Their mom has a trust with us. Their broker doesn't have the account in the trust, which is $2.6 million. Worse than that, the grandmother who we didn't do the trust, who has already died, they didn't settle that estate. So if her mom dies right now, they have a double probate on about $4 million. Nightmare. I'm going to clean that up, sit with the family.
Wait, before you go, because that doesn't mean anything to me, Al.
All right.
Okay. So $4 million going through probate.
It's probably $400,000 to $500,000.
$400,000 to $500,000 in expenses.
Yeah, and tied up for 3 years.
That's the issue right there. Think about that concept because your numbers, and you may not have $4 or $5 million. I don't know, but the bottom line is that just do you want to have 10% of that, right? Just whacked off the top and given to somebody that you don't know.
And tied up for 3 years.
Right.
You can't do anything with any of it. That lawyer, it's his account for the next 3 years.
That's the thing that really gets you, and you can protect that because you know what you're doing, and you're just following the law.
With our trust, the estate settled in 1 to 2 months with no cost, no probate, no estate tax. Your children are settling the estate, your brother, your sister. But, I see this all the time. I just did a trust. I was telling Ron, this is, we all have to fill our financial pocket. This is a spiritual one. This was Thursday before Labor Day. Get a call, referral, husband and wife worth $5 million, Moore Park, about 100 miles away. Went out there, wrote the trust, delivered on Labor Day. 4 days later, he died 2 weeks later. If I didn't do that trust, that would have been 3 years of probate and probably $500,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, so I've said this, and I'll throw this at you, Al. I believe that a trust is probably one of the best gifts we give to our family. It's a gift, and it sounds morbid. It sounds like it's something that it's not a fun experience, right? Because I've walked through these with a lot of different people, because you're having to make some very, very difficult decisions, and you're talking about something nobody wants to talk about. Nobody really wants to talk about their own mortality.
Yeah.
Right? We know it's coming, but do we want to deal with it? And the fact of the matter is, if you deal with it, it's a gift to your kids.
Yeah. So my wife and I have had a trust since 95. We started the company in 96. Every time we went on a vacation, my mother-in-law was the successor trustee. My wife would bring her up and say, if we die, here's the business, here's the trust, take care of the kids. Our kids are now 35 and 32, and they're our successor trustees. But the point I'm making is peace of mind. Peace of mind that what do you have will go to your children.
So when we come back, Al, I want to talk about successor trustee. What is a successor trustee? We're going to figure that out, and who should be your successor trustee? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Back, Josh, I think I'm going to do a Your Credit Matters segment off air, and we'll post it later today. That way we get that in there, but we won't do it live so I can have more time to talk to Al. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. We're continuing our conversation this morning. Al Manfre is with us, Heritage Financial Services.
Right.
It's real big here. It's non-existent here. I'm just throwing that out there. So I'm get the monkey off my back. But hey, you know what I want to talk about? So here's the issue. Estate planning is our conversation this morning. And I will throw this out there. I am not an attorney. I do not give legal advice, right? I know lots of attorneys. They give legal advice. But I'm a consumer advocate, and I've walked the path, and I've watched a lot of other people walk the path. And the issue becomes successor trustee. Right. Who is the successor trustee? Who should be the successor trustee? And who most frequently is the successor trustee? So I'm going to throw my opinion. Then I'm going to give Al, let him tell us from the guy that did 20,000 or has done 20,000 trusts, right? So I think, my opinion, you should always have a non-related party as the successor trustee. A lot of people have their kids as a successor trustee, or, once you're, obviously I think it goes to your spouse, but then after that, I think you should have a fiduciary, right? Somebody who's entrusted, maybe somebody that you know. I have a friend of mine that's an attorney that's done many of these as the fiduciary, and he knows what mom and dad would have wanted, so he kind of protects what their interests are through the process, according to the trust. But I've seen a lot of family fights over one child being listed or the other child being listed, or two children that don't get along being listed. My opinion, let the attorney or somebody that's a fiduciary do that. Yep. The man that's got 20,000 families. Yeah. What do you say?
So I have over 300 die on us every year. So I see everything. I see the fights. Frankly, 98% of them go really smooth with us because we have a process. But you're right. Successor trustee. Who is a successor trustee? That's a person, Ron, that they take the trust. They are a fiduciary, so they have to follow the wishes of the trust. They cannot go past that. If they do, they can be sued.
Sure.
They can be sued because they're not following their fiduciary rules. So anyways, and by the way, I'm not an attorney either. I have a group of attorneys that work for me. I'm a president of a very large financial planning firm. And I think a trust is like a foundation. You don't build a house without a foundation, right? So a trust is that. So your successor trustee, he or she, or an organization, because we do them as well through our attorneys for our clients, they will take the trust. They will go over with all the beneficiaries. Here's what's going on. They will settle the estate, but they will also, you have to generate a tax ID number. You have to do a lot of different things, give out letters to everybody. And the bottom line, you document everything. I'll give you a quick little story. My own family, 15 years ago, my wife's mother passed away from brain tumor. God bless her soul. She disinherited one of my wife's sisters, one of her daughters. So anyway, she passed away, and my wife and her other sister and me, because it's community property, agreed to give her other sister a third of the estate. No good deed goes unpunished, right? So 9 years later, my wife gets a call from her sister. I don't remember getting that check. So what I tell people, especially the fiduciaries, document everything you do, notarize everything you do so they can't see it's not my signature, and keep that forever, because you can be contested, you can be whatever. So you got to have professionals do it. Now, you can choose your children. My children are settling our estate. It's your call. It's your decision. But if they're iffy, you can always put a fiduciary on the back end. But you're right. It does take a lot of the emotion out of it, because in most cases, it's 50-50. But I got one right now. They're giving the daughter the whole house, not the son. And I'm getting calls. And they're not dead yet. And they're already splitting up mom and dad's estate. That's scary.
Yeah, those are scary things. And I'm sure I hear lots, when you're a consumer advocate, you do a radio show every day, you don't hear the smooth transactions.
Correct.
Right. No one calls and says, wow, this went really, really smooth. It's a morbid time. People are sorrowful. Right. When there's a problem, that's when people call and say, have you ever heard of this? Or can you refer me to an attorney? Or I didn't take care of this and whatnot. And we do that a lot, helping people just in the referral part of it.
Right.
Introduce you to a great attorney that can help with these things. But I hear people that come up with here's a great line, Al. I'm sure you've heard this one.
Okay.
Well, we put a clause in our trust that says if anybody challenges the trust, they lose everything.
It's a contest clause. We have it as well. It's actually in the pour over will. And what it says, if anybody contests it, by the way, anybody can sue anybody in this world. Believe me, if you're in business, you've been sued if you're successful. David Meltzer has a great line. He says, you've been sued. Okay, then that means you're successful because they won't sue you if you don't have any money.
Right.
Okay. Bottom line. But the bottom line is, yes, that's why you want to document everything. If somebody comes back and says, I don't like what you do and I'm contesting it, absolutely. What I tell them to do is show your brother or sister this clause and let them know, yes, you can sue us, but if you lose, you get nada. Quick story.
Now, let me ask you this question. Though.
Okay.
How many times have you seen where people said, something, they go to an attorney,
right?
And the attorney says, well, I'll fight. We're going to fight it and we're going to win.
Yeah.
And
give me $100,000.
Give me $100,000. The attorney says, give me the money, give me the retainer.
Yeah.
And then do we want to fight it or do we want to just settle the claim?
Absolutely.
And not go to court?
Absolutely. Because our trust is rock solid. We have very few. I think we had one or two in 26 years where something was contested, they lost. So quick little story. 2 brothers. Mom dies, $400,000 house. Brother that's living with mom and living off of mom basically changes the locks in the house. The other brother, she was smart enough to make him the successor trustee. He goes, hey, bro, let's sell the house. You get $200,000, I get $200,000. No, this is my house. True story. Okay, client comes to me, the other brother, successor. He has to hire an attorney. Cost him $40,000. 6 months later, he wins. He had to evict his brother. His brother got nothing, where he could have had $200,000.
Wow,
that's fact.
Yeah, that's these are real life stories. These are not things that are just we don't have a screenwriter here.
Right. This is life.
When you're talking to folks that are really helping people all the time, we talk to I don't know tens or hundreds of thousands of people every week, through our radio programs. You hear a lot of people talking a lot of stories. We get a lot of comments. We always ask you to put your comments right there on the stream if you're watching this while we record this live in the morning. So if you have questions or comments for Al, just put them in there. We've got a few minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
But and before we go too far, thanks, Josh. We just put on the screen, if you've missed it, if you want to reach out to Al's website, hfis400.com. As you see it right there on the screen in big, bold letters, hfis400.com. Let him know that you heard Al on Ron Siegel Radio, just so you know, so he knows that he wasn't out here. So that way his wife knows he was really working.
Yeah, exactly. This is not work to me. I love it. I love talking about what I do.
When you're out there helping people, that's the bottom line, right?
I'm blessed. I fill that spiritual pocket every day.
Yeah, it's amazing how you can just go out there and share information.
Yeah.
Right. We don't make money by doing the radio program every day.
Absolutely.
Right? The idea is, and I share this with every one of our guests. So the first thing when they come on the broadcast, if we can reach one person, if one of you listening today will take action, get your trust done, and it solves your problem out, as Al puts it, gives you peace of mind tonight, you can sleep a little bit better, then we did our job. If that's the case, just give us a thumbs up, send us a message, write us a note.
Absolutely.
If you don't have your trust in place, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I know if you're driving right now, don't write that down. We're there all the time. But give us a call, 800-306-1990. We'll put you in touch with Al Manfre and his team, and they can help you with your estate planning. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Boss just pushed me over the limit. I'd like to call him something. I think I'll just